Welcome, marketing chefs. I've got something truly special cooking in our Omni-Channel oven today. Marketing Kitchen TV Q&A 13. Up next in the Marketing Kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen, the Marketing Kitchen. Hi, I'm Ron Vining, your host of Marketing Kitchen TV. Marketing Kitchen TV Q&A Live episode 13. If you want to ask a question that you would like to have me answer here on YouTube, please go to our companion Twitter feed. Go to @MarketingKitchenTV with the hashtag Q&A, and I will answer your questions here. So go to Twitter, type in @MarketingKitchenTV, make sure you do the hashtag Q&A, put both of those within your tweet, and I'll answer your questions right here. And then if you have a follow-up, then just write it in the comment section below, and then I will type away and give you an answer. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. I'm doing a challenge to each of you. Please share this channel with 2 of your friends. So I want to do a subscription drive. If you share this channel with 2 of your friends and you ask them to subscribe, 1 of 2 might do it, and you might help me to get a couple of more subscribers. Okay, right now we're I don't know, 1,100 or so, but I've been losing subscribers because I'm only doing marketing Q&As. I've been spending so much time focused on this that I haven't been doing the Lego content, or I haven't been doing the movie reviews, and that's really hurting my channel. So for those of you that have been enjoying the marketing content, if you could help me out by encouraging, by liking and by sharing, and really just asking some of your friends to subscribe, that would really and truly help me out, help this channel to grow. I don't know how this light is working out right here. I mentioned in the last video I'm trying something new. I designed the kitchen for me to be here, not right here, so the lighting is just not, I've got the yellow light ahead above me, and that was to make it warm, but that was to then diffuse the white light that's there, but I'm not there, so okay. Anyway, trying out something new. Haven't shaved, all good, ready for episode 12? Let's go. All right, local marketing is important on getting the company recognized. However, when making ads, what do you think about the employees being part creator of the ad, given that they interact with the customer daily? I love that question, and I will tell you that that is something that I typically advocate for, and I'll tell you why. Or how, or both. All right, so I think that, I have done this before, so I just don't think about it. But so for some of the brands that I've worked for, well, for all of them I've suggested it, not all of them have accepted the idea. But what I've done is that I've asked them, this is great to have in the shot, huh? What I've done is I've asked them to put both the customer and the employee in their ads. And by featuring the customer and the employee, both of them can tell authentic stories about how the brand or its products or services serve them and have been a benefit to them, have been a plus, whatever that might be. So having customer testimonials is fabulous. That's selling without selling. Having employees have an input, so I'm talking both behind the camera and on screen, having employees both in your ads and then having them help to create what that content would be, I think is very effective. As a marketer, one of the things that I've also done is I've always involved the front line. I have always done communication audits or marketing audits, whatever you would like to call them. I do just interviews. I interview the front line. I interview salespeople. I interview customer service people. I also talk to technical support. anyone that has a customer-facing role is somebody that I have involved in the marketing process. And I encourage my clients to do it. I would encourage any brand listening or somebody working for a brand to, because I guess the brand isn't actually listening, to do that as well, to take that approach. Have the customer involved and also to have the customer-facing employee involved, not only in the ad itself, but in the creation of that ad. I think that's great. Fantastic question, and hopefully I answered that for you. If not, ask a question, follow-up question in the comments below. I'd love to answer that. All right, Mariah, your question is, let's see, what are some of the best ways to market a new app and make it stand out among the millions that already exist? Great question. I used to do a training. I actually used to do a half day and a full day masterclass just on app marketing. Can you believe that? Actually, that's one of the ways I got started with a company called ClickZ. So if you actually watch my video, everything you want to know about content marketing and then some more, I used to be the, I basically became the face of this company called ClickZ, and they used to be called SES, Search Engine Strategies. But I typically chaired the conferences, as well as I was a keynote speaker and a masterclass trainer, either pre or post day sessions there. But I got started really in the, I guess, on the public speaking circuit with them well, first, truth be told, first there was it was called annual shopping, the ASM, annual shopping malls, where I gave a keynote presentation about retail. And from there, I sort of got into the swing of becoming a professional public speaker and corporate trainer and blah, blah, blah. All right, anyway, why am I taking up questions to say all of this? Oh yeah, because, yeah, app marketing. If I could do a full day masterclass on that, there's a ton to talk about. So let's see what I can talk about in 2 minutes versus talking about why I was speaking. Okay. All right, Mariah. Yeah, so how can you make your app stand out? Well, here's a trick. Here's a trick for you. You'll see a lot of people say that they are a best-selling author on Amazon. Well, they're the best-selling author in a category no one else has ever listed a book in before. And you could do the same thing on the App Store, both for, say, Google or for Apple, and at the Google Play Store, right, or the Apple's App Store. And you could put yourself in an obscure category, or you would want to put yourself in a category that's not so obscure, but at least it's not in the same category as all your competitors, so that if your app doesn't get a lot of downloads, it'll still remain at the top. It won't be buried in amongst all the others. You certainly want to make use of in your advertising for your app, so in your app description, because there is what's called app search marketing, right? So when you go to either of the major app stores and you search, well, you're searching for keywords. So you want to make sure that you use those keywords when you're making up your ad, your profile page rather for your app. You want to make sure that it's that you buy the right keywords as well, and you also want to make sure that when your customers are reviewing your app, they are, well, first you want to make sure you get customers to review your app, and there's ways to do that. I will talk. There's legitimate ways, and then there's illegitimate ones. You want to be very careful about paying people to write reviews for you, because if they are not organic, if they have not actually downloaded the app on the same device that they're doing the review from, if the language is too similar, remember we talked about what was happening with Rotten Tomatoes? If the language is too similar, if there's repeats, oh my gosh, if there's repeats, you're dead. You want to make sure that it's super organic, so otherwise you'll be penalized by the app stores. Another thing that you want to do, so obviously you want to have reviews. You want the reviews to be laced with keywords. You want to be in the right category, you want to make sure that your app description profile page has great visuals, not only just screenshots, but also maybe video showing how the app works. You want to do a lot of paid promotion. You can certainly do the whole organic piece, but let's be honest about how good that's going to work. So you would want to do direct install ads on Facebook and Instagram. You would certainly want to do promote, because most people are looking at mobile anyway. So you would want to really encourage somebody to see the feature of the app, click on that ad, and then it takes them directly to the App Store to download it. Companies that, here's a mistake, here's a huge mistake. The company that drives you to their website to then drive you to the App Store to download the app. Failure. Have it go directly to the App Store location where your app is at to do the download. Otherwise, you're really messing up. Then let's talk about what you call the app, because obviously the branding or the name is key. What color your app is in, and what is actually the app icon. So if you go to my, well, you can see just by looking at the banner, right? I actually did all of my company's logos as apps, just sort of the fun of it, because, well, I actually see that the services that my brands offer as being like an office suite. So I see each of them as an application that fits together to do a specific function. And, but you want to make sure that your app is of a color that maybe associates with, or maybe you want to differentiate, but with the type of thing that it is. And so, for example, I chose AppFlix to be in green because social messaging platforms, right, tend to be in green. But I didn't choose the typical color, right, that WhatsApp and WeChat and Apple Messenger use. And the reason, or Line even, the reason I didn't do that is because it's not a messaging app, but it is an app-based, and there is messaging function within it. So, and then of course MarketingKitchenTV, I choose red because it's a YouTube channel, so the synergy there. So anyway, those are all things that you should consider, but then of course they need to be consistent with the home brand as well. But I wasn't sure whether you're asking me about starting just an app or whether it's an app for a company. But you really want to think about the synergy of that and how it fits or works into the App Store. All right, not holding to my 2 minutes, but I'm trying. Okay. Next question up here. How to develop marketing strategy as an influencer during COVID-19 pandemic. All right, I had mentioned in episode 11 after my long monologue that I was going to try to talk about how do brands make their way during this disruptive time. And I had known that there was a couple of questions in here, but I thought I would have got to it in episode 11, and I didn't. So we're getting to it here in episode 12. All right, how to develop a marketing strategy as an influencer during the pandemic. Well, I will say that not just as an influencer, right? But I know that's your specific question, but how will any brand develop a marketing strategy to get through this? Because this is a bit different, especially if you've got a physical channel. So you've got two things going on for you. You've got the disruption of the fact that the physical channels that we've all been accustomed to, so doing an omni-channel approach, probably is dead right now. You have, I guess that's a bad word, it's not doing so well right now. You may be just multi-channel being in the digital space, whether that be web-based, app-based, social-based, right? Or even, I guess, video. So, but those are all potentially, anyway, digital platforms. So if you're in that particular space what is your strategy going to be? Now, you've got two things that are happening here. You have an influx of people forced online. So there's more people online now than ever before, but that's both good and bad. The bad is the fact that now there's a lot of noise in that space. So there's even more traffic There's even more disruption. There's more people trying to be influencers right now. And I've never tried to be an influencer because I don't have the time for it. I work, right? I mean, I'm working. I know that that's what some people do as their job. That's not mine. So, but if that is what you want your job to be, then what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to come up with a strategy of going back to what I talked about in episode 11 and in some others. What is your objective? What do you want to accomplish? What's your goal? Who is your target audience? What are they like? What are they interested in? What kind of content do they want to see? What would your message be to them? And then what channel are you going to use? Because you're not going to be successful if you try to be an influencer on every channel. You'll completely fail. So you've got to choose one. Is it going to be LinkedIn? Is it going to be YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WeChat, TikTok, Line, Pinterest? So you name it, right? You name the channel, but which one do you want to be the influencer on? I'm not saying you can't be on all of them, and you should be on all of them that are appropriate to your objective, to your message, to your audience, and then of course to the channel, yeah? But because you want to use them to, I keep doing this, so I'll be consistent, to use all channels to promote along the way up. Right? So, but one of them should be your primary. You're utilizing the other ones to promote that. And so you got to have that strategy. You've got to have a purpose. You need to know who your audience is that you're targeting, what they're interested in, what they like, what you're going to talk about, and then just concentrate on that channel. And like the example that I gave in episode 11 about my LinkedIn endeavor, it's got to be consistent. You have to come out with consistent content on a daily basis, especially to get started. And you may need to be posting 7 days a week, and you might need to be posting 3 times a day, 7 days a week to get started. Again, depending upon what the channel is. Or, in the case of what I do on LinkedIn, 12 times a day, 7 days a week, year round. That's a major endeavor because we are using value-added content that is new. Do we have reruns? Yes, but a majority of the content is first time. So we've got new content interlaced with a rerun, because just like a TV channel, it's okay to turn on the TV channel and see new programming and also to see reruns. People don't mind it as long as it's good content to get started, yeah? As I trying to close things down here. Okay, I hope that was helpful to you in answering that question. All right, so that was 1, 2, 3. Here's question number 4. Mariah, another question from you. And you ask, what is the most efficient way to build an audience for content marketing? I pretty much was just answering that in the last question, I think, but let me think audience centric, right, as I answer that for you. What is the most efficient way to build an audience for content marketing? Well, again, I'm going to repeat myself. What is your goal and objective? So are you B2B or are you B2C? What do you want to drive? Is it branding is your objective? Is it sales? Is it views? Are you trying to monetize a YouTube channel? So for example, I would love to monetize this YouTube channel. I've hit the threshold number 1, which was get more than 1,000 subscribers, and I nailed that. I nailed that within the first 6 months of having my channel running. So yay, accomplishment 1 achieved. The next big accomplishment are watch hours. And as I mentioned in a LinkedIn post that I know a lot of you read, these marketing Q&A videos are actually hurting my overall watch hours because a lot of you are not watching the videos end to end, as opposed to my Lego videos and my film reviews or TV series reviews, like I did for The Mandalorian, talking about streaming services. People watch those pretty much end to end. the Avengers Endgame masterclass that I have, just to applying that to storytelling while I was cooking my soup. That one is a 2-hour video that most people watched start to finish. Those type of things will drive me to get to that next level, right? So if that's my goal and objective, I should be creating only content that drives that. But instead, I'm creating this marketing content for you guys that's hurting the channel, but it's helping an audience that I want to serve to provide some engagement for. And that's why I ask you guys to, if you could just, give me a pat on the back and, to just help out in that endeavor. So when you ask what is the most efficient way to build an audience, you need to find out what that audience, so what the audience is, what content they're interested in, and then you just got to milk that. And so I'm working against myself, right, because of what I just shared. But I understand, I understand what it is that I need to do. The opposite is LinkedIn, though. So I know what my audience is on LinkedIn. I know what content they like on LinkedIn. So there I've been successful. Here, because I'm trying to achieve multiple goals on Marketing Kitchen, number one really just being to test the platform out, it's not been successful in the way that I know that I could make it if I weren't trying to juggle the different balls that were there. So, but the answer to your question, Mariah, I know I'm rambling, but I think all of this is somewhat relevant. But the most efficient way is to create the compelling assets that will fit the objective, the audience, the message, the channel, right? And so the content piece is that message. Understand what that is and just run with it. And then do paid. So if we're talking about, so it has to be consistent, the posts have to be scheduled, they have to go out on a daily basis, not repeating the same content, new content, right? If you are going to repeat content, don't repeat content in the same, you want to do, again, look at how a TV network, how they repeat the content. Let's talk about something that happens in prime time. Like let's take A&E or Fox when they're running like Walking Dead. Walking Dead, they will run last week's episode, say from 8 to 9, and then they will run this week's episode from 9 to 10. They may even repeat that new episode from 10 to 11, or they have a new show that they want to promote that follows Walking Dead, with the repeat of the new episode at the hour after that. Now that's a bit much, but just giving you an example of how you could stagger that, utilizing old content to feed into new, and then repeating that, sort of an encore, right, if you will. But I would use paid promotion. So I would create my content assets, I'd have my organic schedule, and then I would use paid advertising to promote specifically to my target audience. Hope that answers your question. Aaron asks, are restaurants taking away consumer privacy to improve their business? Okay, and I guess you're asking this specifically, I guess I need to read Jennifer's her tweet that you're building off of, right? Undoubtedly, Beacon technology enhances consumers' experiences. Find out how major retailers use Beacon AI to improve content marketing and much more. Okay. All right, so are restaurants taking away consumer privacy to improve their business? Well, I wouldn't just say restaurants, Aaron. I would say any company is I wouldn't say they're violating your privacy, but they're certainly prying. They're looking to ascertain as much data about you. Well, think about the facial recognition software that's being used in retail now. So they're actually, when you walk into the mall, where do you go? Well, actually, so think about Simon Malls, not saying anything bad about them. Actually, I used to work for Simon Malls. They used to be called New England Development. And their app, you download their app to get free Wi-Fi in their shopping mall. You utilize their app for loyalty program, store directory, blah, 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 right? They are then able to, of course, to track which stores you go into, how long you stay in the mall, how long you stay in each store. Through their loyalty or rewards program, by scanning in their receipts, they know which merchants are most benefiting from their marketing. So there's a whole piece to that. Is that violating your privacy? Yeah, and no, because you consented to that. Yeah, when it comes to facial recognition software, you have given them permission to do that because there was a disclaimer posted on the outside of the mall or just as you walked in that you should have read that said that when you were entering the mall or the store, you were consenting to that. It's almost just like, I know it seems devious, but it's no different that when you're in the checkout line of a retail store, well, they used to clearly post the terms and conditions of the sale, where it gave what their return policy was, exchange policy, sale policy, right? Final items, markdown policy. Now that may or may not be as visible as it used to, but heck, it's on the back of the receipt. So they told you right then and there. And I've been in a situation before where it was never marked in the store, and then I see it on the back of my receipt before I'm about to put it in my wallet. And then I'm like, hey, whoa, you never told me this was final sale. I want to return this item. They're like, oh, well, you can't. And I'm like, no, darn right I can, because you never announced it till right after I purchased it. So anyhow, we've been dealing with these types of things for a long time. It's just now with AI and big data and facial recognition, and it's becoming Big Brother. The current global situation that we're in now, where they're talking about chipping people and giving and marking off on their passport or giving them a health card. Like, I have a yellow health card that has all of my immunizations that I got before I moved overseas, because I was told that to get into certain countries you'd need to prove that you had it. No country ever asked for that card, so I stopped bringing it with me. But we're going to go to potentially the days of Nazi Germany, where people are going to have to be wearing a badge on them, right? That says, oh, I had my vaccination. To get into a store? To go on an aircraft? Are you kidding me? Talk about that. To me is a violation of my privacy, more so than what we're even talking about with data. We're in a brave new world now, and shame on us, shame on you if you don't say no, and if you just go along with everything that you're asked to do, because you have rights and you should exercise them. Civilly, of course, following appropriate means and tactics. But you should demand that companies don't misuse your data. You should demand to know how your data is being used, and you should find ways to safeguard it. The same way is true with you as a person. And you should not put up with everything that you're being asked to do, because there are new norms of right and wrong, I guess. And unfortunately for me, I grew up in a time when you could debate any subject with somebody rationally or logically and they'd listen to you. Today, people don't even want to hear a contrary position to popular thought. So just because the popular thought police said that that's it, that's all you can talk about? So also, Aaron, I guess building on your question too, is just censorship. The technocrats. Because I've been tweeting about what's been going on in the situation, my Twitter feeds keep being blocked by Twitter. I'm not saying anything wrong, I'm just expressing a viewpoint to have a discussion. But they don't want to have a discussion. All right, final question for episode 11. Sorry, final question for episode 12. Michael, you ask, what is the most effective way for marketers to utilize market research when assisting in the website creation process? All right, Michael, before I answer that question, in episode 11, I gave a tip, and the tip was make sure that you have effective hashtags, okay? And so effective is not a good hashtag, and I'll tell you why. Yes, it's short. Yes, it's a known word, but would you go to the search bar up here and type in effective? Yes or no? Would you type in marketers or would you type in marketing? That's an iffy one right there, but people are more apt to type in marketing than marketers. So I would be hashtagging, I would be finding a way to have marketing in here, hashtag, not marketers, and then utilize market research. Now, just want to not poking fun, I'm not being critical, I'm just trying to use this as an example. But most people probably wouldn't do the hashtag or search for utilize market research. They would look for hashtag market research. And then website creation, maybe, but we're getting long here. So some people just use, so you're not using a hashtag to highlight a word, you're utilizing a hashtag to increase your post visibility, searchability, findability, to increase engagement. So it's about building your personal brand. It's also about allowing people to be able to find similar related content for them to view it and then hopefully engage with you. Okay? All right. So what is the most effective way for marketers to utilize market research when assisting in website creation process? Just thinking about what you're asking and how best to answer that. Okay, when we're talking about utilizing market research, we're trying to, again, going back to, right? I talk about your goal and objective, I talk about the audience, I talk about the message, I talk about the channel, right? And they all fit together in that ecosystem. So you are utilizing market research to understand what content and the format of content, and even potentially channel, is the best to use to engage with that particular audience or segment. Yeah? So understanding that data will help you best in creating the type of website that you might have. So what the UI would be, so what the interface of your site would be, as well as the UX, so what the experience would be on that particular page. You would want to utilize A/B testing. So of course you can look at case examples, right? So before you create your site, so for example, Amazon. Amazon does A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z testing, right? They use an image, they use a caption, they use 26 different images, 26 different captions, pure mutations of those to see what people are most clicking on. If you subscribe to Netflix, you're probably aware of the fact that they do something similar in that they are constantly changing the thumbnail, knowing that, testing to see which thumbnail catches people's attention to click on. And then also, they're basing that based upon your history, as well as they're basing it on so your prior content that you've looked at, also the gender or whatever data they have on you, location, time of day, so that they know what they should put in the trending, what they should put in suggested recommendations. So not only the title itself, but how they're marketing that title with a particular thumbnail. So there's so many different pieces of information or data, part of the market research, that can help a marketer to understand how the website should be created, what the layout should be, what type of content should be there, and then also how to market that website. What is the best channels to market it on? And then when we talk about SEO and SEM on the site itself, what's the canonical SEO aspects of that? Talked about that in one of the earlier videos this year, as well as talking about the meta tags that you're going to use. what content, so not only the tagged content, but then also the actual content that that's written there. What buzzwords are you using so that they match up when somebody searches? Also referrals that come back too. There's just so many pieces to that. So it's hard to say what is the most effective. You basically need to use all of those pieces that I just talked about and some more. Okay, Michael, thank you for that great question. Thank you very much for your questions. Because some of the episodes went really long, what I've decided to do is take episodes 11, 12, and 13 and divide them up. So I'm actually, out of the 3 that I recorded, I'm going to get 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So I'm going to take 3 long videos and I'm going to make them into 6 shorter videos. So I'll try to sync up the endings to make sure that you know which was which, beyond what you'll see in the thumbnail and also in the description. But if you hear me call it an episode number that it isn't, it's not you hearing things, it's not me being crazy, it's because I decided to cut them up to make them shorter runtime for each of you. As a reminder, if you would like me to answer your question here on Marketing Kitchen TV, all you need to do is go to @MarketingKitchenTV on Twitter, utilize the hashtag Q&A, and I will answer your questions right here. If you have a comment that you'd like to offer on any of these videos, please do it in the comments section below, and I will certainly, I might not be able to get to them all right away, but I will definitely like, and if you ask me a question or even if you say anything, I will comment on it, because part of being on social media, part of being a community is engagement. Just a reminder before I let you go, my challenge. The challenge is, please share this channel with 2 of your friends. That would be 4. Share this channel with 2 of your friends so that maybe one of them will subscribe, because I want to grow the subscriber base over the next month or so. So if you could help me with that, I'd really appreciate it. I will be filming one more episode after this one, and we'll pick up with Matt in our episode 14, chapter 14, part 14, whatever that might be. So we'll pick up with you in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, there's always fresh content simmering on our storytelling stovetop. So whatever happens in this kitchen shouldn't stay in this marketing kitchen. I'm Ron Vining, your host, reminding you to invite your family and friends to the next episode of Marketing Kitchen TV.